Hello, welcome back to another one of my videos. I'm Crazy Boy. Today's video is going to be called Magical Oils. The first thing I'm going to talk about are like the different types of magical oils there are. Especially this is from a standpoint of working with brujeria oils and root work oils and hoodoo oils, okay? The first thing I'm going to talk about, I'm going to go from left to right with the first oils that I used and then now to the more oils I've been using recently, okay? So the first oils I ever used were, of course, brujeria oils, the oils that were being sold in my local botanicas. The thing with botanical oils is they are mostly sold in bulk, which means that they really don't have really any essential oils in them. There's really nothing like that. It's mainly just an oil with some dye and fragrance, and that's pretty much it. They mainly use a mineral oil because most people want to anoint their bodies with it, so that's the oil they mainly use. But in brujeria, what's important in brujeria is the color of the oil and also the smell of the oil. So what I did a lot of is I would write down in my book of shadows what the color of the oil that I used, you know, and what was the name of the oil and what was the smell that it reminded me of. So that's the main thing that I would use in my in discerning between like which oils were what and why they used that color, you know, for that oil. Like why did they use red for, you know, love drops, or green for pay me back, you know, or protection for red or black, so that type of thing. So I'm going to just show y'all some examples. Alright, this one right here is called a quick money drying oil, and as you can see with the camera with the light, it is a green oil, and again it just has a fragrance in there and of course a little bit of dye, and that's pretty much what these oils are. I do have some very old oils that I had way in the back of my witchy shelf that I haven't had a chance to use yet. This is a very old love oil, and as you can see, yeah, it's a metal cap, so it's very, very old. I would say this oil is like about 5 years old. But again, it's a love oil and it's red, and you know, so you know, that's the main thing that brujeria oils mainly have. Now, a lot of people will say, well, why buy the oils? You know, they don't have any essential oils in them, and you know, what's the purpose of it being a magical oil? Well, the main thing that I tell my customers or the people that argue with me about this is that in the botanicas that I go to, and I hope that other botanicas do this as well, the botanicas I go to, they pray over every single one of their items. They pray over their oils, their candles, their incense, everything. The reason for that is because they want the items to work. They do an all-purpose prayer. They pray over every single thing to say, please work for the customer that buys you. You know, that's the main thing that you're getting from a brujeria oil. Okay, so that's the main thing. Another oil that I would really recommend, again, a little bit of the brujeria influence, is the Riva oils. Her oils are really good. Those are the main staple oils that I use to dress my candles with, mainly because the fragrance they give off, it just reminds me of brujeria and vintage and visual candles and stuff like that, so it just really reminds me of that. And again, get a small vial of it, you know, give it a try. You never know, it really could work for you. This is a millionaire oil, as funny as that word sounds, or it's not going to make you a millionaire, but it's a money oil. So, or also too, you would anoint yourself with this if you're playing with games of chance having to do with money. So this would be a good oil to take with you to Las Vegas if you plan on gambling. So yeah, this is a really good oil to use that for. So but the thing again with her oils is that she sticks with the same color and the same scent. She doesn't just mix stuff together and put a label on it and say that's what it is. So she's really good at that. So these are the oils that I really recommend. Now, of course, you're not going to find all the oils that you're going to need sometimes. Sometimes you're like, oh, well, I don't have the moon oil or Mars oil or frankincense oil. The main oil you can use as a substitute for any type of Riva oil or brujeria oil is the all-purpose oil. That's the oil you can use for any one of these oils. Okay, so if you can't find an oil, a certain oil, don't worry about it. Just get the all-purpose oil. You'll be fine. I usually tell a lot of my customers that don't ever get stuck on, oh, the spell didn't work because I didn't have that type of oil or this type of item. Don't ever get your mindset into that, because there's always a substitute for everything. Even for herbs, even for essential oils, there's always a substitute. So don't always get stuck on that, okay? Now the next oil we're going to be going down the line is the next stage was that I actually went to Louisiana for a while, and I actually learned how to make root work oils. I learned it from a really cool guy. He had been studying it for a while, and you know, he went to a lot of practitioners of it, and you know, learned a little tips from them and their own mixtures and stuff like that. So here I'm going to be showing an example of some of the root oils that I've made from the formulas he gave me. This right here is a Van oil. This oil right here has the five grasses, and also has a toca bean in there as well. So this is his formula that he taught me, and yeah, it's a really beautiful color. And yeah, and the main thing he said about root oils is they need to be chunky. They need to have a lot of roots, a lot of herbs, and a lot of resins in it. It needs to be very chunky. So that's the main tip he told me. And here's another one, so you can see another example. This is the healing one. And yeah, there's a lot of herbs in there that you can see, a lot of herbs. So yeah, really good. And again, with the main oil staple in here, the oil that's used, it can be a carrier oil, an essential oil that will help out the purpose of what the oil is used for, or it can even be a brujeria oil. It's really anything that you really want, but make sure that you jot down what type of oil you put inside your mixture, okay, in your BSO. So yeah, and another oil that I also stumbled upon was actual hoodoo oil from Lucky Mojo. This is them right there. And with them, they're pretty, I would say they're pretty good. They've done their research on what type of oils are used in root work too, so that's really amazing. And I'm pretty sure root work and hoodoo are pretty much the same, but I still call it root work. That's what they call it, so I call it that. But these oils are actually pretty good, so I would say give them a try. They are pretty expensive, but the person who does make these does do the research on them, so it's another good oil to give a try. And also too, the all-purpose oil for root work and also for hoodoo is Van oil. That's like the all-purpose oil. So if there's a certain oil you can't find, use Van oil, okay? Now the other thing I want to talk about brujeria oils, root work oils, and hoodoo oils is that you don't have to just mainly use just this oil. What you can do is you can get another vial or another bottle, and you can fill it up with carrier oil, and then add 1 or 2 drops of any of the oils, and you can actually get more for your money. So that's another thing. So always just experiment, smell the oil, always smell it, document what color it is, especially if you're going to be buying a certain oil, not making it. And just make a bulk of it. Make a bulk of it yourself. Just add a couple of drops to a carrier oil, and just get more for your money. And also too, another oil that y'all should always give a try are oils that people personally make themselves. For instance, this oil right here is a cleansing oil from, I think his name is Salt Lake City Witch Boy. This is a very good oil that he makes. This is a cleansing oil. He also makes a dragon blood oil also, so I'm gonna be getting that one soon too, because that's actually a main staple in brujeria, dragon's blood oil. But this oil is actually pretty good. I got this from his Etsy shop. I'll be putting a link on it on my descriptions. But yes, a very good oil. And also this oil right here is a healing and blessing oil from Pumpkin Cottage, another good oil from Oceana's website. Again, give it a try. And again, I've used some of it, but again, I put some in a carrier oil and got more for my money. So always do that. And of course, here are the essential oils that I finally learned about, after reading a lot of Wiccan books and pagan books about the properties of essential oils. And with that being said, I finally made my own oils, which these oils right here are a mixture of the ideals of brujeria, which using color and scent, and also the hoodoo oils with making the oils chunky and full of herbs, and then also using essential oils, and also putting crystal stone shards inside the oil. So my oils are an actual mixture of all the traditions that I've learned. So yeah, so these are my own personal oils, and this one right here is the sage oil. Yeah, really strong stuff. So yeah, so thank y'all very much for watching, and blessed be.